Perfect. Thank you. Um, my name is Ryan Bottomore. I'm an admissions counselor within the University of Oregon, and I'm also a proud alumni. So I actually graduated not too recently. So I have a lot of information about student experience, the U of O, and even the admissions process. So I definitely will look forward to all of the questions that you ask towards the end. I do have roughly around a 20 to 25-minute presentation that covers general University of Oregon information, academics, and I also will end with some information about the admissions process. So if I convince you, you know exactly when to apply, how to apply, and how to stand out as a competitive applicant. So I'm going to start sharing my screen with you all, and I'm going to start the presentation. If I could get some sort of verbal confirmation that you all see the giant O on the screen. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. To kick things off, I do want to do a little bit of a land acknowledgement. And since you all are kind of in the Eugene-Lane County area, you should be maybe familiar with this, but we are located on Kalapuya Ilihi, which is the traditional homelands of the Kalapuya people. Following treaties between 1851 and 1855, the Kalapuya people were dispossessed of their indigenous homeland by the United States government, and they were forced to move over to the coastal reservations in Western Oregon. Today, their descendants come from the Confederated Tribes of the Grand Ronde community, as well as the Confederated Tribes of the Siletz Indians of Oregon. So before any campus tour, before any campus event, whether that is in person or virtual, we definitely wanted to acknowledge and honor that we are built upon Kalapuya Ilihi, and we want to honor the contributions that they have made not only to the state, but to the University of Oregon. So I do want to share with you, to kick things off, a most up-to-date photo of our campus. And the reason why I say most up-to-date is because you might be driving around campus and you can see constantly new buildings and new constructions, but this is the most up-to-date one that we have at this point in time. And as you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, there is brand new Hayward Field. And then you potentially can see Phil and Penny Knight campus for accelerating scientific impact. But those are kind of the new to brand new buildings, and we're building a brand new residence hall, expanding the health center, but we're just overall using our resources to give students the best academic success and academic programs that we can offer. But that's one of the reasons why I wanted to show you this. And another reason is that you all are familiar with the landscape of Oregon and how beautiful and lush and green it is, but this is just to reinforce that overall theme. Why the University of Oregon? And I wanted to give you a snapshot of where our students are coming from and kind of give you a picture of what our student population looks like. Roughly around, our total population is roughly around 23,000 students, but of those, around a little less than 19,000 are our undergraduate population. So we're really heavily focused in that undergraduate experience. We have students actually coming from all counties in the state of Oregon, all 50 states, as well as about 100 different countries. So when you are participating in clubs or organizations, when you're walking on campus to and from class and you pass by other students, or even if you are sitting in a classroom and you happen to sit next to somebody new, you'll be most likely meeting somebody maybe coming from across the country or even across the world. And I think that is an incredible learning opportunity that we provide our students, is to connect with one another, learn differences, share your experiences, but it's also great to understand where each and every person comes from and understand their background, their culture, and their identities. We've been ranked as one of the top 50 public institutions, and this is based off of the US News and World Report. And I do want to say that there are many factors that kind of are at play within this ranking, but one of the reasons why we are ranked so high compared to other public institutions is that we are fortunate enough to have the opportunity to be a part of the Association of American Universities. And this is where we do undergraduate and interdisciplinary research. And I do want to say that not only do graduate students have opportunities, but around 80% of our undergrad students actively participate in this research, whether that's independently or working alongside a faculty member that actually receives grants and funds to perform this research. And whenever I hear the term research, all I can think of beforehand, especially when I was in your shoes, is science. Lab coats, goggles, experiments. But what I came to find out, that research can actually be conducted in every area on campus in every single one of our academic programs. And we have about 168 academic programs to choose from. And towards the end, when I open it up to questions, I encourage you to ask about your particular program so I can definitely highlight what some of those experiences may be. But the 168 programs are split amongst our different schools and colleges. The first college that I wanted to highlight is the College of Arts and Sciences. And not only is it the first, it's also the biggest college. It makes up about 60% of our institution. The College of Arts and Sciences makes up our humanities, social sciences, as well as our natural sciences. So we have programs that range from English to theater arts, to political science, to international studies, to economics, to human physiology, to biology, to psychology. As you can see, there's a variety to choose from, and those are all separated amongst our different, within our College of Arts and Sciences. The next is the College of Business, and this is actually the biggest major population-wise. And students have the opportunity to pursue two paths when they are in the College of Business. The first one is business administration major. The second one is the School of Accounting. It doesn't matter what you choose, you ultimately get to choose which path you want to take and which path is going to serve you the best when you go off into the real world. But I do want to say that it is very unique for a university and an institution to have both business as well as accounting. So you'll definitely get the benefits of having both of these to feed off of each other. But if you are interested in business, there are a few concentrations that you can choose from: finance, entrepreneurship, marketing, operations and business analytics, or sports business. And when I was a student, I actually double majored and I did business with a marketing concentration as one of my majors. And then happened to enough, the College of Design is where I had my second major, which is art and technology, which is more of graphic design, animation, digital arts, things like that. But not only does the College of Design have art and technology, but it also has architecture, which includes landscape and interior. We also have product design, planning, public policy and management, general art. So the College of Design really houses a variety of different opportunities for students to pursue their creative outlet. College of Education, and if you are interested in becoming an elementary, middle school, or high school teacher, social worker, counselor, this is the opportunities that we have at the U of O to pursue those careers. So the College of Ed houses our educational foundations, communication disorders and sciences, as well as family human services. And then we even have one of the top 5 special education programs, and that is a minor. So if you are interested in learning more about that, College of Education is definitely your right fit. School of Journalism and Communication is where students have the opportunity to pursue journalism, advertising, media studies, and public relations. It's all about storytelling. How are you going to tell this story? Which media outlet are you going to be telling it through? School of Music and Dance offers a variety of different programs, and it makes up about 400 different students on our campus, and that includes both undergraduate and graduate students. But over 2,000 students are actively a part of this program through our ensembles, whether this is campus orchestra, campus band, whether that's choir, gospel choir, dance organizations, a cappella groups. A lot of students want to pursue their academic program, but also want to continue their performing arts. And so you definitely have that opportunity within the School of Music and Dance. And one of my favorite ensembles is actually DeVisi. DeVisi is an all-female a cappella group at the U of O, and DeVisi was featured in the book Pitch Perfect, which inspired the movie Pitch Perfect. So you could say we have our own Barden Bellas right here at the U of O. And I definitely think that is one of the most fun facts that we have at the U of O, but I just wanted to share that. The School of Law is something that is a graduate program, and this is not something that you get a bachelor's degree. This is a graduate program. So once you enter college, you'll be an undergraduate student, you get your bachelor's degree, and then if you choose to go into college further, you'll start narrowing down a master's or a PhD program. And this is what the School of Law serves at the U of O, is a graduate program. So something you get after your bachelor's degree. There are a few undergrad programs where students have the opportunity to pursue law, including potentially political science, international studies, general social science with an emphasis in criminology. But ultimately, it is when you move out of your bachelor's into your grad program is when you'll be fully implemented into the School of Law. And then I do want to highlight the Clark Honors College. I mentioned a variety of different programs, a variety of different schools and colleges at the U of O, and the Honors College can be applied to any of these programs. It's just a small liberal arts institution at the U of O where you get a lot more face-to-face discussion, interactions with your professor and classmates. Your class sizes are capped at 19. It's more reading and writing intensive, but it is definitely a challenging program, and a lot of students find it that it's something that they are looking for at a college or a university. I do also want to mention Tykeson Hall, and the reason why I want to mention Tykeson Hall in particular out of all of the buildings is because we do have a cross collaboration, and it's one of our new initiatives, but it's a cross collaboration between academic advising and our career advising. Usually those served separately, but now we have this brand new building where there is that collaboration, where not only we are helping students graduate, complete those requirements, but we're also working with them to make sure they're completing classes and taking classes to help them be career ready, to make sure that they are making the use of our foundation, our education, to serve them best moving forward. The one last thing I do want to touch on academic wise before I kind of jump into the fun clubs and organizations that you can be a part of is studying abroad. And studying abroad is absolutely fun, but it's just a different way that you can pursue academics at the U of O, just through a different environment. And granted, considering the global pandemic, we aren't sending students abroad, but given that we are looking at the end of the tunnel and we are looking to be in person this fall, we are starting to open up some of these registrations. And we are hoping that students will take advantage of some of these study abroad programs, maybe not this year, but even when you join the U of O. We have 300 study abroad programs in 80 different countries, and a quarter of our students study abroad. And one of the fun facts that I love about the study abroad programs is that we don't have any restrictions. Students can study abroad at any point during their college experience and even before your freshman year. So if you're looking for a fun summer right before you start your academic career at the U of O in the fall, you have the opportunity to be a part of some of our pre-freshman study abroad programs in London, Singapore, and even a task-based immersion program in France as well as Italy to learn both French and Italian. So there's a lot to choose from, and I really encourage you to kind of do some research through our global education office. But now, as I said, I want to talk to you a little bit how to shape and mold what your student life is going to be like. You're probably thinking, Ryan, you're talking a lot about academics, but I really want to know, what can I do on the weekends, or what can I do after I'm inside my class? And I would say that a lot of students find that the 300 clubs and organizations, they're able to find their community, they're able to find their niche, they find their friends to really help them mold what their college experience and what they're looking for. So some of these include general university clubs and organizations that tailor to most students, whether that's fraternity and sorority life, whether that's the outdoor program and go on excursions, going kayaking or hiking or camping or something along those lines. And if you want to even go on excursions by yourself or with some friends, you even have the opportunity to rent equipment from the outdoor program. And then we also have the student government, which is another club and organizations that students can be a part of to really make a difference in the student body and kind of be that voice. We have some academic clubs and organizations, and I already kind of told you a little bit about some of our musical ensembles and our performing arts, but we also have Duck TV, where we host television shows. We have students writing and directing, news anchoring, making their own podcasts. So depending on your academic major, we do have a variety of different clubs and organizations that kind of just reinforce the curriculum that you are learning. And then the last thing I do want to talk to you about is some of our identity and cultural based organizations. We have the Multicultural Center on campus, and the Multicultural Center houses a variety of different student unions, like the Native American Student Union, the Black Student Union, the Latinx organizations, the Asian Pacific Islander organization, the LGBTQIA, the Women's Center, the Men's Center, the Veterans Center. So there's a variety of different clubs and organizations that really allow you to find others and feel represented and feel heard. And I do want to say that we are really proud of the progress that we have made to make our campus more equitable and diverse and inclusive. But I do want to say that there is a lot of work more to be done. But I do want to say that we have been ranked as one of the top 20 public universities for graduating underrepresented students, as well as one of the top 25 LGBTQ-friendly colleges and universities. So I do want to say we are making strides to help everyone feel heard, feel represented, feel comfortable on campus, to make it more equitable and inclusive, but there still needs to be work done, and we're really prideful of the work that we've done. One way to kind of kick your student life off is by living on campus though. And I do want to say that considering where you are located within a certain mile radius of campus, you have the option to be exempt from living on campus, which really helps reduce the total number of costs when you are thinking about pursuing the U of O. But if you chose to live on campus, you definitely are able to. We have 10 residence halls. We are actually increasing our dining facilities to 14 with our brand new residence hall we are building, which will open up this fall. And we are bumping up our academic residential communities to 15. So we do have a variety of different options within our university housing. But I do want to say that I really encourage you to do your own research, because you are the best person to know which environment you're going to thrive the most in. So do your research. Do you want to live in a single, a double, a triple? Do you want to be a part of a residential community or even an academic residential community? Really understand which environment you're going to thrive the most in, and definitely register for housing when it comes to time. So I've convinced you so far, and you're thinking, Ryan, how do I apply? How do I get into the U of O? It sounds like an incredible experience, and that is what I'm here for. That is what my position is for, is I'm here as an admissions counselor. I'm here as a guidance to help you navigate the admissions process for the U of O. And even if you have specific questions about college in general, I'll definitely be able to answer, because I was in college not too long ago. But since I'm an admissions counselor, I definitely want to give you an overview of what our admissions process is. So as you navigate through your high school, I do want to say that we do require students to meet certain course patterns. So English, 4 years, math, 3 years, 3 years of science, 3 years of social studies, and 2 years of a second language. And if you have any specific questions, you can definitely speak with your counselors or myself. We work very closely with a lot of students, and I really want to make sure that you are meeting these course patterns. And if there's any hiccups, then I can kind of smooth those out. There's 3 ways to apply. The first one is the common application, and it seems to be the most common, hence the name. We also have the coalition, which is very similar to the Common App, but we also have the Oregon application, which is the U of O specific application. And then this is what I consider. So this is what I look for when I review your application. So I am your admissions counselor. I'll be the one reviewing your application, reading your essay, and then providing the suggestions. But I do want to say we conduct a holistic review, and there's a variety of things that we look for. First and foremost, we want to look at you holistically as an academic. So we look at your GPA, we look at your grade trend, we look at your academic courses and course rigor, and we also look at your senior schedule. So we look at a variety of different things, and really as you navigate from your freshman to your senior year, we really want to reinforce the point of challenging yourself, staying on track, completing those course patterns, and really working with your counselor to help you be successful in your high school career. And then we also want to look at what takes up your time outside of the classroom. So activities, work, volunteering. Do you participate in any clubs or organizations, sports? Do you have family responsibilities? Are you a musician? Are you an artist? We really want to understand who you are more as a person outside of your academics. And I do want to say that given the global pandemic, a lot of these may have been postponed or canceled, and there may not be active participation as it was. So I'll definitely let you know that that won't affect my overall review and our overall decision, but definitely write down as many as you are participating in. And I really want to reinforce the idea of what did you learn within these programs and how is this making you a better person? So definitely highlight those as you fill out your application. And then I do want to say that we are a test optional institution moving forward. So SAT and ACT scores are optional. If you submit them, I will review them and I'll take them into consideration. If you choose not to, and if you choose to omit them, I will not even think twice. So it won't affect our decision in any way. And I'll talk to you a little bit how we are going test blind for fall 2022 and scholarships, but that'll be a tiny bit later. And then I also want to say that a personal statement, 650 words, really have and really reinforce your voice and more about who you are within this personal statement. 650 words may not seem like a lot, or it may seem like a lot depending on if you are a writer or not, but 650 words allows you the opportunity to really let your voice be heard. And this is one of my favorite aspects of an application, is because it's a blank canvas and I like to see what students utilize and use it for. Other essays, there are a few other optional essays to give us potentially some context if you would like to submit them. And here are some deadlines. So I do want to say, no matter if you are a junior, if you are a sophomore, if you are a freshman, or even if you are a admitted student, you went through this not too long ago, but these dates will not change. November 1st is our early action deadline, and our early action deadline, if you apply by then, you'll hear a decision no later than December 15th. And if you apply by our regular decision deadline of January 15th, and you submit all supporting documentation by February 15th, you will not hear a decision later than April 1st. So April 1st is the very last day, but it is a rolling admission, meaning once we get to your application, we'll definitely let you know if what our decision is. And then May 1st, National Decision Day, which is right around the corner for a lot of the admitted students. And the last slide that I want to talk to you about is what I mentioned, is the scholarships. So for fall 2021 and for fall 2022, we are test blind. We are not requiring SAT or ACT scores in order to meet some of these scholarships. But I do want to say, moving forward, for anything after fall 2022, we haven't quite made that executive decision quite yet. And so definitely keep on the lookout for your email, or even schedule an appointment when you are starting the application process, and I can kind of walk you through what the scholarships look like. But stamps, presidential, as well as the diversity excellence, all require separate applications. So definitely look not only for the application deadlines, but look for these scholarship deadlines. And then Summit, Apex, and Pathway are merit-based scholarships that we automatically are giving you based off of your performance. And these requirements are for fall 2021. These might be changing, or these might be the same. We haven't made that decision. All we know is that it's going to be test blind. So these scores will not be considered in these requirements. But Pathway Oregon, I do want to highlight, and this is something that's really close to home because I was a Pathway Oregon recipient when I was a student, and it pays for your tuition and fees for 4 years. And it really makes higher education feasible and realistic for a lot of students who may not be eligible to afford a lot of potentially out-of-state or even in-state schools. And so all you have to do is meet a minimum of a 3.4 GPA in high school. You have to be an Oregon resident, and then you have to be a Pell Grant eligible, and that's determined by FAFSA, which is your free application for federal student aid. If you meet those 3 requirements, you are automatically given Pathway Oregon, and it pays for your tuition and fees for up to 4 years, as long as you maintain eligibility during your undergraduate career. But these are our scholarships. I highly encourage you to speak with Nick Dykes, who you may have heard before, but he is a fantastic financial aid advisor within our Office of Financial Aid and Scholarships, and he has a full team to help you understand what these scholarships entail. But that is the last thing that I have for you. And I definitely wanted to open it up to some questions and kind of get that personal interaction.
Okay, I'm going to stop recording. So